중등된 공범장호라요 라장자로 건거로주 점니 점저니다 남다라서 진예 동건 저저저니제 다가라라와 강다르베 저 마르문도 등으로제서 조조간라 어제다제야라 저제야다 Rudra Jado Nyomo Nyalo Leje Jado Domza Marumaze Dungara Nyaka Janye Jomza Raja Dune Daja Zabjin Dazo Yendo Lijo Jaji Do Jado Jada Janye Jandin Dalo Maze Jahora Yanla Andodo Umara Bazanardo Umara Bazanardo Umara Bazanardo Umara Bazanardo Umara Bazanardo Umara Umara bazanardo mara 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 bazan Umara bazanardo mara bazanardo mara bazanardo mara bazanardo mara bazan Umara bazanardo Tsuldrim jijim jero ozere Dalu dam mambarazan Kwadan damju jolo doba Lodrö Nova Jeda Soro Yaji Jembo Zodan Nime Jao Zone Molo Jembo Naviat Pakara Tamwan Zandu Shermado Tumba Tuji Jala Janza Lo Oyatani Namba Tamji Bola Shito Delakan Samji.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Tani nga tso shido ga tani chachite, tani ngonzi ga yin, tani tomar, tani shangshim shokta tsangma ga sim ke gore.
We are beginning now with our teaching for this afternoon, and please everyone make an aspiration of bodhicitta.
Tani tari nga tso chachi karsang tangbo nga tso shido, terang nga tso shido tsangma ga kapsi tani chachi ka tangbo la nga tso shangshim shokta sim ke gore, zindi tsangma la tani chanlong. Shisonga te jimsen de kang rezina ngacho gewa kang da kang jibna tani chunyan na gom jabna te mayimbe tani chi shangtsar na tani domban don na nam da nawen na tani shangship simting ngacho zawani jinyan ga mare pe karchim bore ti jimsen gi ngacho nam yin na yang shangshim shodo simke gore yang shangshim shodo simke gore ze te korma mambo tindi lab go jimsen de tere.
So yesterday at the beginning of our morning session, as well as at the beginning of our afternoon session, and then again today, this morning, and now again this afternoon, I have reminded everyone about the importance of generating an aspiration of bodhicitta. And the reason for this is that regardless of what kind of Dharma activity we are engaging in, whether it be listening to a teaching or doing meditation, doing prostrations or chanting mantras, it's extremely important that we do so with a motivation of bodhicitta, and it's for this reason that I speak about it as much as I do.
Karsang ga chachri terang ga chachn duso nangla pe jana nga chu mun dusu nani mo ni mo sim ot risk tini gella shanship ko sim ke sona tani nga chu chuchu shaya da tani chosu tini ndela tani chuchin dindi zanzik shepa da tani nga chu ina tharang bo zini tini ndela yone chuchu shepa te so changma dondang dam ba tani halepa tani yakpore song rezi karti myo ni myosum tani zika jella shangship sim ke sona tani haliba tani tondang damba rezi.
So the importance of bodhicitta, we could say it's like this: out of all of the people who have come to listen to this teaching, if yesterday and today only 2 or 3 people managed to generate bodhicitta in their mind stream, then this entire teaching that has involved many people coming from far away and me coming from far away too, just even 2 or 3 people generating bodhicitta would make this entire teaching extremely meaningful and worthwhile. And if a few more people were able to generate bodhicitta in their minds than this, then this would be extremely wonderful.
Yeah, this is. Tengoni changni tindi reze nga zo shanchib ko semze ate tindi rentang hali ba chimbore nga zo pena nga rong la yin na tini pena Amerika lan drona pena boni Amerika lan drona tini mo nga ga jilla kyorong shanchib ko sem kien rosari tini kyon rogo yin beze na de nga rogo yin zi shak reze.
Gyangya sonu choka.
Be jagna zinte beze jagna tini pena Amerika la tini drona tini mo nga ga jilla kyon drona mo nga ga jilla shanchib ko sem kien thosari tini rogo yin beze na tini boni Amerika lan drona tawala tini yungu reze nga yungu yin zini rogo reze tini zi yin na.
And really, bodhicitta is something that's so precious. It is of a great value. For instance, if someone was to say to me that in traveling to America, in traveling from Tibet to America, that it would be possible for even 4 or 5 people to generate bodhicitta, and if I was asked whether I would be willing to travel in order to achieve this, I would of course say yes.
The Gimson Karizina Pena Shanship Sim Gilla Moschika jilla shanship ko sem kien ken tindis resona tini mati ti mambola tini koranga pamba drimdro re tini murnga jilla shanship ko sem kesona tini murnga puti tini murnga bya ma tongcha nga tini kale mambola ni konso pan tongdro re.
And the reason for this is that even one person with the motivation of bodhicitta is able then to benefit a great many people. So 5 people generating bodhicitta with bodhicitta would be able to help and be of benefit to an even greater number of people, perhaps 500, then 5,000.
Tinti yendi tini nga su shanchib ko simde pe halipa rentang chimbo tinti yembate hako go re.
So it is important that we do understand that bodhicitta really is of great value.
Teni ti gom tapte nga so tanang te teni shasung ina teni jipchaz teni shajire masong da teni ina tandeni teni kambo lodrö dai kong yore teni te na kyorang so teni mangchi shu de korang ga lomare tendi teni kongga teni ti korla teni tarnga yang chutamambo song de teni maung bala song re tendi teni kale lojong shina ya pe halipa yang pore nga so muntni te lojong shiwa tang gom gyap go re.
So this morning we introduced a meditation practice for the generation of bodhicitta, but we didn't get to go into it in great detail. However, most of you here are students of Khenpo Lodrö, and he has given teachings on this in the past, and no doubt will also continue to do in the future. So it's very important that everybody continues with their study and practice of bodhicitta.
Tini yendi te nga so mula pantongona tini mula pantoya ga tini chaking ngoma ta kangrezina shanchib ji semre.
So if we are going to really be of benefit to others, then the basic condition or the basic criteria we need to fulfill is that of having bodhicitta.
Tini nga so project na tanga nala sang dorji thaba nala lama la tini pena nga so lama zuche gona tini korang la chakin kan sango re zeni mambo sung yore ti nala chakin mena machok ba o chakin tini sai tsawa tela kang jogor zena tini shanchib ko sem jogor ti shanchib ko sem yakbo yongken tini zina tini nga so lama susurang lama la tin jana tini pamba ma tok ba no ba tsawa ne yo mare.
In the Vajrayana teachings, there is much instruction or advice on the criteria that need to be possessed by a particular teacher in order for them to be a qualified Lama for us. And in terms of finding one's own spiritual guide, it is said that the most basic and the most indispensable quality that a teacher possess be that of bodhicitta. If our teacher does have bodhicitta, then it is possible for us to rely on them in our spiritual practice, and in so doing we will only gain benefit, we will gain no harm whatsoever.
Tani shanship ko sem me patin na yang tini lama yin na yang korang so me jala tini jala pamba yo ya lekate shita mashi hako mares.
However, without bodhicitta, then regardless of whether it is a spiritual teacher or someone else, it's very difficult to say whether or not their action and activity is of benefit to others.
Tindi indi tini namba tso shanship ko sim ko kor ko tini nga tso te pe na shunjing ra boda tini shanship sim ko gumrum ko kor la pe pecha mambo yo re te so ta inji ko tola yang mambo giri yo giri kandiz yo na nga ha ko me tini tisu korwa te tsama mambo ta go re mambo lok go re te mambo lo na yang pe pantok yak bo yung re.
And so far as bodhicitta is concerned and its cultivation, there are a great many texts that we can read that are of benefit to us. In particular, the way of a bodhisattva and the meditation stages of bodhicitta cultivation. There are many titles translated into English. I'm not sure exactly how many, but we really should study these texts and read these texts, and they will be of great benefit to us.
Tini shanship ko sim te soso ko sim ko na la ke sona tani nga cho ta zo o msi ren tang dang dam ba ze te kang ji zi la ze yo tani nga cho ha ta zo ha ko yong re.
Once we are able to generate the mind of bodhicitta, then at this point we will finally realize what the ultimate point in human existence is.
Tani ola ta nga cho de jembab jibchir ka na ni tani tsikang jipa ka tani ton te tsangmala ngoto shek yun.
So from here on in, I would like to teach on the fourth line of parting from the four attachments.
Tani jipa ka ton te kang rezina tani nzambab shona tawa man tani songyo ta nga so tawa zina tawa te la mangbo rezi yina tani kang yina tan di kam ni shapi tawa te zi tawam thumbo tani shakayo re yina tongpa nyaka tawa te shakayo re tani tongpa nyaka tawa te tok gona tani nzamba mepa tani go re.
So the fourth line is, if there is grasping, you do not have the view. So insofar as we understand the word view, there are many different kinds of view, many different levels of view. View here refers to a rather high level, in particular to the view of emptiness. And if we are going to realize emptiness, it is important that we abandon grasping.
Tani tongpa nye zia te tang timrir zia tini shikpan rago la tsegre zi nga so tongpa nye tang timrir zia te tani pe na ngubo chika tani ngu ni tawa la tsegre tongtsi chika ngu ni tawa la tsegre zi.
Emptiness and dependent origination, these two words ultimately are referring to the same thing. They are attributes of the same thing.
Tani timrir tang tani tongni tani tong chikpare tani timrir yinpi jimsenji tani tongni yinpa tang tongpa ni yinpi jimsenji tani timrir rezini tani pansang chika chilan reshit gyabtapa tani zila kwa lengo red.
So we can say that emptiness and dependent origination are the same. At the same time, we can say that because phenomena are characterized by dependent origination, therefore they are empty. We can also say that because phenomena are empty, therefore they are constituted by interdependent origination. So we can use each of these terms to explain the other.
Tani timrir ziyate kandi zala zega orzina ke pena nga tso metok tani metok ziki gona pena metok ndala yon kanga metok marbun tani zitini koyar ki gona tani tangbo koranga sawung gore tani sajang gore sajang tinang la sawung gore tani chir gore tani drod gore tani dichuk gore teso tsama yo sona tani girkin teso la teni girkin mambo zi nyamdo nzom sona tani tela teni nrewa tani zinjong gore.
So in terms of dependent origination, we can use the example of a flower to illustrate this. In order to produce a flower, we need to first have the seed, and then we need to have the conditions of proper soil and more fertile soil and water, a warm temperature. We need time in order for the seed to grow. So with these causes and conditions coming together, we can ultimately the result of a flower can be produced. produced. So this is an example of dependent origination.
Then Tindiga tini timdir tini jedang killa tini ki gobi ngupuz yin sardi tini tsangma ti dong tola tini tongba zina dong tola zimba o tindi tata tini resini ta nangba tindi songore.
So in Buddhism, we say that phenomena that are created by the coming together of different causes and conditions in a relationship of dependent origination are therefore empty or not true. So I would like to talk a little bit more now about these two terms, emptiness and dependent origination.
Tani tangbo tsangma lata go rese tani de pe nangupo chike je kora gem je ke ya je res.
So everybody please look at this. This is the cause of a result.
Ya tani de kora tani je te la tani shon in res.
And this is the result of the cause.
Tani
So relying on this cause, or as a result of this cause, this result is produced. And if this result is going to arise, then it depends on this cause. So this flower and the seed have a relationship to each other. It's a relationship of cause and effect. And so this relationship of cause and effect that exists between the two is a natural process or a natural law within the natural environment.
Daily kyang kong la tani jistin dal ha she ba res tri zen khang chuluk mambo yores.
In many religious traditions, that one thing produces another is said to be the work of a creator god. And this is said in Western religion. It was also said in religious traditions that were contemporary with Buddhism in ancient India, and also in religious traditions that preceded this.
Tani di kapsa tani ta sangje shacha thapa jagar la phibni tani lo tomcha nita ngabja yin zenken yore lo tomcha sim yin zenken yore tani lo tomcha nita tani dumja gibja gubja yin tani zenken yore ngaso bo kan raz yin na tani lo tomcha nita gubja yin zegres.
So as to when the Shakyamuni Buddha arose in India or lived in India, there are different sayings as to how long ago this was. Some people say 2,500 years, others say 3,000, others 2,700, 2,800. As for the Tibetan tradition, we say it was 2,900 years ago. However, regardless of the length of time in question, at this point in history, Christianity did not yet exist. However, there were many other religious traditions aside from Buddhism in ancient India. And probably the majority of these religious traditions explained this relationship or the causes resulting, or effects or results emerging from causes as the work of a creator God.
고랑초 르그니 디나라다 참말 하고 싶어하는데 되니 제어리다 상지 시작자다 바 공거 되니 고랑 찌보 되니 때 켈링요 말이지.
Despite the fact that this was the pervasive or the predominant view in the religious milieu at the time, the Shakyamuni Buddha himself objected to this view. He did not accept it, and in so doing was among the only people at the time who did.
되니 고랑 그 워낙 가리르지나 되니 고랑 그 되니라 템질 그거니 되니 종거 요래 손에 되니 송 요래.
What he said that the relationship between these two was one of cause and effect.
Teni temdil ke goni teni kewa insarti teni pena jevon de korang la keala teni saung gogore sar gogore chi gogore tro gogore teni teso chama njom sona teni ta korang keung gore tele jamba go mare teni zegres.
So what he said was that if we are going to have an effect or a result of fruit like this, then we need to first have a seed, then of course we need soil, water, warmth, time, etc. And only when all of these factors are present are we going to see a fruit emerge.
Teni tela teni rangshung kam ko chuni zegre te sanji shakja ta ba korang ko shiba mare te korang nguborang ko chuni teni zegre.
So, in fact, this is a natural law. It is not something that was invented by the Buddha. It's actually how things are.
Teni te sanji shakja ta ba zuba mare korang ko shiba re zegre te korang ko zuba mare korang ko te shiba re ze korang ko hakwa re zegre.
So the Shakyamuni Buddha was one who came to understand this natural law, or he discovered this natural law, but he was not the inventor of it.
Tindi yansarti tini ngacho tin choa nala tindi jedam jeवन tindi jimje re korang jeona tini jewe yongore te korang tini ngupo chunye je jeti ina ngacho te la tarong shapa jemuz jabna teni junde la tini jewen de tsawani kego yo mareze.
So even though this is indeed how it is in everyday life, the natural law or the law of nature that we speak of is that such a cause gives rise to such an effect. When we look at this in more detail, however, we discover that this is in fact not the case.
Teni tambong aso kare ko gorjena sawund korang mertak bayim bahako gores mertak bares.
So the first thing that we need to understand is that the seed here is impermanent.
Teni jewen de yang teni korang yang te yang mertak bares jedan jewen ni ka yang mertak bayim bahako gores.
And this result or this effect here is also impermanent in nature. So it's important that we understand that both the cause and the effect are impermanent.
Mertak bazena kare rezegzena tsama teni ndela ta gores pena nga chundini ndi parte di sachate teni chini somje nga tuzini jagwarte teni go janasi 112 jagwarte teni goni teni nga so sawon teni sarndeni shini yong gona teni ndela yong kan ka sawon te dan ndela yong kan ka sawon teni chigri samgundu da khakari samgundu.
So let's just say that I place this seed or this nut here on the table, and I divide this length on the table up into 100 smaller increments. Then if I were to move the seed from the beginning into the end of this space, then would the seed at the beginning be the same seed as at the end of this length? What does everybody think?
Tarong te sarushana ndel nditola teni ndini parte lazim teni ngaso remo jabni to ndi remo chi remo ni remo samzini remo jathamba jabjagnas.
Okay, so let's just say that we draw a series of lines along this length, dividing it up into 100 smaller units.
Teni remo jathamba jabni teni ndi sawondan ndini Dendi chene teni tandela leb gona ze teni tangbo go thone teni gathamba go thola teni sar yong gona teni tangbo go thola yong kenta teni gupchuk gathamba go thola yong kan ka sawon teni ngaso go samna sawon chikpare samne teni sam go yoreze.
So, in moving this seed from the first increment or the first unit to the 100th increment, is it in fact the same seed by the time it reaches the 100th increment? We tend to think that yes, it is.
결혼소 삼로 땅다 니니 용나 니니 용캔 때다 니라 립찬캔 그 사분티니 찌르다 타드르스.
What does everybody think? Does everybody think that the seed that starts off at the beginning of this length is the same seed as the one that arrives at the 100th unit?
나초고 먹었다나 찍바레지 나초고 먹었다나 니디 찌보데 니디 용도요레 찍바레지 리디 동고토라 따로 나초 지무 삼로타나 교수 삼나 찌르 삼근도 카카리 삼근도.
So, of course, when we look at it with our eye, it appears to be the same seed. However, if we think about this carefully, is it in fact the same seed? What does everybody think about this?
카카리, 그래? Yeah, very good. 야, 너네 다 약보래지. 너네 가서 메토양, 리우테양, 너네 디토라 장네 데라 용나, 너네 대양 카카리와지.
So it's also the case then, is it not, that the flower at the first unit is a different flower than the one that reaches the 100th unit?
아야, 대약보래. 너네 다 띵엔 살때 너네 가서 리우 준도 있나 너네 가서 코랑 너네 빼나 치수식라 너네 치수식라 너네 karma amare karma sigla tini karcha trikcha thamba yores
Gamajik.
karma sigla
Gotcha.
karcha trikcha.
Let's say. So within 1 minute there are 60 seconds.
Tini karcha sigla tarung aso mambo tini yata tongda chi tini ina yegi yores karcha sigla.
And then it's possible to further divide 1 second into any number of smaller increments of time.
Teni ngacho karcha chikta ta ngacho mambo shenan go nyogro re ngacho masheze karcha chikta kema gyalam phennaze teni karcha chikta kema gyalam phenna o ta tindgre chashi gyathamba go chokoreze karcha chikta.
So if we go into this in too fine a detail, we will get confused in our minds. So let's just say that we can divide 1 second up into 100 smaller units.
Ta tindi indi ngacho garise grezena tini de korang karcha chik kema gyalam phenna tini ti tangboda niba nala korang tin yerwan ro yorets.
So we can say that the seed at the first 100th of a second and then at the second 100th of a second transforms, it changes, it's not the same.
Tani pena ngacho tartan tini ngacho di lang jane pena tini chiso nibada tini karma nishi thamba te ngacho tartawa shena tartawa yinzena tini ti ngon chama tini ti jablok chama debaze gore ti ngon chama maung baze gore.
So looking at the time now, which is 2:20 in the afternoon, we can say that everything prior to this is the past and that everything in the future of this time that lies ahead is the future.
Tini deba chama tarta yoreze.
So does the past still exist in the present?
Yeah. Yeah. Deba so tarta ayos.
Do we still have the past now?
Now, yeah. Tani ta ngacho tani tarta ina tani ya chichu nida tani karma nishi chachik tim panchu tim maung bazi gogoreze tani maung ba so tarta ayos.
So everything after 2:21 is the future. At this point in time, do we yet have the future?
Now, yeah, yakborisi. Te kyorancho yakbo koduk. Yeah. 가시가 삼는 내바양 따따 요리 마음바양 따따 요리 삼고 요리.
Probably there are some people who think that we still have the past, the present, and we also have the future as well.
딘디나 칼상양 대랑양 고래 산이양 대랑양 고래 대랑 칼상양 대랑 요 산이양 대랑 니 말씀도 대랑 요 고래.
But if that were the case, then we would be still having yesterday today, and we would also have tomorrow today as well.
야. 대인디 땅아서 요 말이지. 따따식부 마토바 따따 연초 참마 메바리 차르지. 니 마음바 참마 다른 요 말이지.
So we can say then that at the moment we don't have the past, it has all passed, and we don't yet have the future, it is still yet to come.
아, 되니 다 사원 대치리지나 가서 타마가 되니 삼로 땅에 되니 타마가 가서 죽둠데라 점지 제론 점지도 강레지나 되니 사원도 되니 까르차식 되니 차시 야탄발람 펜니 지금 또 말이 되니 그런 매바 착그레스.
So our final conclusion must be that this seed that we have here only exists in 1/100th of a second, and that after this it no longer exists.
되니 지우양 때 내양 때다 직바래 과랑 직바 직장래 과랑 까르차식 게마 갈람 펜나 디스직마 또요 말에 잠바 다스타와 디스직마 또요 말에 잠바 참만 내바다 마음바래 요 말에지.
And the same is the case for the flower as well. It only exists for an increment 100th of a second. Everything before that is the past, and after the second has passed, it is the future.
다 니까 되니 틴디 까샤 되니 겨와 되니 니까 머딱바 되니 겨와인 되니 니까라 되니 티소 통통스 마토 메바 착사리 지니 담 사운들인데 끼고나페 카보요레스.
So given the fact that both of these are so impermanent, that they change so quickly and they're existent for only such a short period of time, it's extremely difficult for this seed to give rise to this flower.
되니 소소고 당 잡고 그래서 가서 사운디 되니 제원들이 야르끼고나 되니 코랑 메파즈다 사르트 야르끼고레다 되니 가만히 요바즈끼 그래서.
네, 양자성의 정은 고마성 뭐라.
사운더 되니 제원들이 끼고나 든지 끼고나 데 코랑 가만히 요 차와즈 야르끼고레다 가만 메파즈끼고 그래서.
데 죽랑의 고마성 디작에는 쪽.
다음도 가서 사원금 니거 끼고나지 너 끼고나 너 코랑 가만히 요바즈 끼그레다 메바즈 요바조 그래서.
So if the seed is going to give rise to the flower, does it give rise to it while it is still existent or after it has ceased to exist?
因生果，然后这个果是的结果那些等你俺妈呢，等你有查话是结果来的，等你俺妈没把是有把做过来是。
디작에는 쪽. 십자가지거나 이나데니 양답하시고.
고 디작에나 다 데리테 텔레사로즈만도 데리 가서 데니 메데 제부터 메바즈 요바조고나 총우 到生到有等这些过呢等你说사원디等你没并不存在的果让它产生还是存在的果让它产生
So is the cause that gives rise to the effect a cause that is existent, that gives rise to the cause, the effect in an existent state or in a non-existent state?
He's saying, is the result existent before and then it comes into the place of the result, or is it newly made? It wasn't existent before and now it comes.
Okay.
야, 걔랑 저거 대상없다.
Now it comes into the final. It existed at the time of the cause, then it is present at the time of the result. So what was previously present is now the case, or it didn't exist before, and then the result is newly formed, was made anew.
야,
Right.
텔레라보즈래. 사원티 메토케 고나제. 되니 메토 나마 메파스 타 요파케 그레타 나마니 요파스 코랑 게 그레.
So this is very simple. Is the
flower present in the cause at the time of the seed, and then it becomes the flower, or was it not present, not existent, and then newly forms and becomes the flower?
맞대 꼬면 돼.
고소고근도
그속고 맞아. 결혼도 바꾸다 됐다고 그래.
다
맞아.
발로만 되니
메톡
따뜻해.
사원도 나니 메톡 끼고나지. 사원도 나니 메톡 끼고나. 되니 메톡 때 메빠스 되니 그런 그 사원 때 끼그래다. 메톡 때 가만히 요빠스 되니 사원 때 끼그래.
Just as Paloma said, was the flower present in the original seed, or was it not?
요바끼리 메빠끼리.
Da 고소되니 니가 요 말이지.
야, 니가 맨날 되니 메톡도 쳐서래서.
So if neither were the case, then where would this flower have come from?
니가 맨날 듣고니 끼리. 끼가 말해야지.
It's the result.
야,
Just
Dendrales.
쳐서.
Well, di 얘기하블라 누파 이 사뿐 라 누파 라 요레딜 테네 레부디 충시그레스
제부터 덴디지기요 말이지. 가서 당본 덴디 딱시 잡고 그래. 당본이 템드징 쟁양 말이. 당본 가서 샤파 잡고 그래.
So it's we're not allowed to say yet that the seed has the potential to give rise to the flower. We have to logically examine the cause and effect relationship here.
당본이 샤지론 den양 말이. 당본 가서 딱시 잡고 그래.
So we can't make draw a conclusion before we have properly investigated the process.
네 삼나? 어야. 메톡 사원티 메톡테 메파스 되니 요파조 그래. 삼근도지. 티캅스 사원 요래 마토 메톡 요 말에. 되니 당보 사원 요래. 되니 메톡 티캅스 메톡 요 말에. 되니 사원 라테니 되니 메톡 요래. 되니 네티 삼근도 조스티 삼근도
I think that originally when we had the seed, we didn't yet have the flower. Does everyone else not think this way? 뭐 가시더니 로바스.
야. 나촌 잠발은 그뭐 참아 대삼고 요래지. 갈때 나초 로톡 메피 김선기 나초 뭐고 그래 마토 바 로톡 요나 나초 못고 말이지.
Everybody in that 양자손은 좋고.
다치니까 또 지라사 말이 다 이잖아. 말해. 때 아주 레라보즈 말이대. 나초 로톡 메파테 장 모나 레와. 나초 메톡도 모나 나초 메톡 메피 김선기 뭐래 마토 담보니 요나 뭐고 말아.
Yes, most people in the world think that the reason we need to sow our fields and sow harvest to begin with is because we don't have them already. If we already had harvest, then there would be no reason to sow the crops.
There is.
Is this not the way it is?
야, 지지. 되니 사원 어야. 메톡 나초라 메톡 메피 김선기 되니 나초 사원 사집라 레니 되니 뭐고 그래 되니 칼레 되니 메톡도 되니 끼용 그래 말해야지.
And is it not because we don't have a flower to begin with that we plant the seed in the earth and then it eventually grows into a flower?
어야. 되니 다 사원 요피 값을 나초 메톡 어요지.
So when we first have the seed, at this point, do we have the flower?
No, 야, 되지. 딱딱했어. 어야. 야. 되니 다 사원 요피 값을 되니 메톡 메나 되니 사원 티 코랑 그 메톡 메파테 요파 주고 그래 맞아.
So if we don't have a flower at the point when we first have the seed, then we have to say that the dati jukla yanja sone chok.
되니 사원 때 메톡 때 메나 사원 때 되니 메파테 요파 주고 그래 맞아.
So
Are we making something that didn't exist?
다들 녀타스인데 공다 다들 네 잠바즈 탑스르 잠바즈 신이 시작했어.
well, Khenpo said that he's making a lot of trouble with his argument and he's going to find a simple way to explain it. But
야, 쉬세요. 다 진짜 잡잡지다 야.
what Paloma just said before, Khenpo was saying that are we, with the seed and the flower relationship, making something exist that didn't originally exist?
드니 다양 가서 양식을 출타서 시기는 드니 가서 샷 어도모도 따기는지.
So we need to do another experiment to see, do another try and see whether or not we can get a good understanding this time.
드니 메톡 메파티 레아테 친이게 잡잡지뇨나 데 마고지요 말 잡잡지뇨다. 메톡 메파티 드니 가서 사원 그 드니 사원 그 값을 당가서 메톡데 요 말에지 살자. 메나 드니 가서 메파티 요바 조고 그래와지 사원도 더 라틴니 드니 코랑 메파티 요바 조고 그래와지.
So if we didn't have flowers yet at the time when we first have the seed, then is it not the case that we are making something that didn't originally exist?
야, 드니 메파조고나 드니 사원 코랑 요피 값을 드니 메톡데 요 말와지.
So if we have to make something that didn't originally exist, then is it not the case that to begin with the seed did not contain the flower?
드니 사원 코랑 요피 값을 드니 메톡도 드니 잠볼랑 그 사샤가 가와나 요 말와지. 그 진입 숑어리 디 값을 코랑 짜와네 요 말에지.
So at the time of the seed, there is no flower. Wherever we go in the world, we never find.
디 값을 코랑 잠볼랑나 요 말이지. 더 짜와네 요 말이지 디 값을. 사원도 요피 값을.
So wherever we might look in the world, we would never find a case where the flowers already exist at the same time as the seed.
야, 딘디나타 나초 삼나 나초 삼로 할리파 탑 디포즈 땅거 요리지. 다 사원데요. 메톡데 메. 드니 사원 메파데 요파 조작 삼니 드니 삼거 요레스.
So the way that we think is in fact very simple. We think that to begin with there is no flower, and we've got a seed. So a flower is producing the flower from its seed.
지티티 삼로 지무 땅나 메파데 요파 짜와니 조탑고 말이지.
However, if we actually think about this more carefully, something which doesn't originally contain the other or doesn't exist is newly made to exist.
드니 메파테라 콜라 샤와짜와니 시탑고 말이지. 나서 요파스 그토라 페나가 락반디나 요난디 톨라티니 리모트나 초코레 마토 락바짜와니 메나가 리모트사 요 말이지.
So something which doesn't exist, or something which doesn't exist is the 양자송은 적한불라. 말이 체크 털링이야 보고문도.
야, 리리리 다강메. 야, 나서 메파트니 요파 조그레 삼니 나서 티니 삼거레타. 이나 메파텔라 나서 티니 샤와짜와니 시탑고 말이지. 메파텔라 페리잖아. 나랑 그 락바티 요나 녜티 톨라 리모트나 초콘두지. 이나 nga lakpadendana menang remote tabko manduwazi tini tedanda bore.
Something that doesn't exist can't function. So how could you make a non-existent existent? For example, if your hand is there, we say it exists so that you could draw a picture on it. But if you take away the hand, there's no place that you could draw a picture on it. So a non-existent doesn't function.
Right. Did everybody hear that? Okay. Do you want to say it a little bit louder?
Yeah. 거다 줘서.
거다 야부 줘서. 때 가시고 마송 다 양자지 송 거.
야, 당연 양치치.
말이 발음은 양자지 송 거.
So something that is non-existent doesn't have a function. We can't make a non-existent exist. For example, with the basis of thinking of our hand as being present, which provisionally we'll say is existing there, then we can use it to draw a picture on it. It has a function. But if there's no hand, then there's nothing to draw a picture on. There's no function. So a non-existent thing essentially cannot function.
Did everybody understand that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then 다 고소나 가솔라 까울리 빼치보 요레지.
So we've really struggled to understand this.
디카레제나 데니 당아초 데니 당아초 메토드 메난디 사운디 데니 코랑가 데니 메파티라 코랑가 찌용시 탑고 말이지.
So if this doesn't exist, if the then
So if a non-existent can't function, for example, if a flower does not exist in the seed, there's no function. So how could there be an action of it, like becoming?
I'm sorry.
Because there's nothing there. So how can we talk about the process of becoming? Nope, we're not there yet.
나초 사운텔라 니파요레 니파타가 메토테 요파셰그레 삼니 딘디 삼딘디 나초 삼고요레제 나초 양바초가 양테 삼고요레 참마가 테 삼고요레 리티 있나 사운그 니파티 사운기 니파티 디니 제부터 코랑 싸우니 메파제레지 티카스 잠블랑라 따론 코요 마레지 디니 코랑 메나 디니 니파티 요마요 마레지 샤와 코랑 시사치 갸요 마레.
So everybody thinks, of course, that the seed has the potential to bear a flower or give rise to a flower. Everyone everywhere thinks this way. However, if at the point in time that we have a seed, there is no flower in it, then how can it possibly produce a flower?
With
the extra conditions of other causal.
Deni sabang tola deni gen shembo deni nuna deni sajang chu chozina deni flower of the metal gigre.
Je. Ngazogun choaga na tindizena chokre te norwa tsawane yo mari tadagrezi te.
In terms of our practical everyday life, of course, this is the case, and there's no mistake here. I think this too, and everyone else in the world also thinks like this. Of course, educated people think like this, farmers think like this, and on the account of this thinking, they plow and sow their fields successfully. However, there is a natural process or a natural law at operation here that none of us really understand. So everybody think about this. Is it possible at the same instant for the seed and the flower to exist together? Oh, this is very good. Everyone understands well. Chizu.
But then if they're not simultaneous, now we have a lot of problems. If the causes and conditions are not simultaneous, now we have some logical problems that we have to figure out.
So when the seed exists, we don't yet have the flower, do we? And when we have the flower, we no longer have the seed, do we? So then what is the connection or the relationship between these two? So what is the relationship between the two? When we have one, we don't have the other. So what's the relationship, say, between a person who dies and then a newly born child in the next life? Tutsu, Jikin Tutsu Zigre. Tutsu Kajawazre.
디소 메데셈 나나 기피 나나 시사리 못대당 달로 사르트 기피 부드니까라 코니람제라 아요스 마티니라
Is there a connection between the person who died last year and then a newly born child born this year?
제아요 여쭤봐래
Koso Gyutjik Barezignu.
그저 짓
Simgyut.
샘짓
Tatanam Shijikpat them Jawazre.
때말에 코니 파마다 된디 마임비 셔탄가 나나 시사리 못대 따따요 말와세 데니 따따 기피 보고대 코 따따살 기기 말와세 데 직도 요파레 직도 메파레 데니 팔란드라요 말레세
So there's no family connection between the two. There is one person who died last year and then a new child that is born this year. Is there no connection between these two? Kotso dini kabala drewa yosis.
말에 개방합시 세금에서
So this is not a case of past and future lives.
야 나오래 어야 제 땡을 빼장되지 땡 빼리지 빼나
So this is an example, an illustration.
데니 메토 코랑 요위 값스 제브 코랑 요위 값스 데니 제브테 메바코니 시차라레지 너 끼위니 끝나더니 너 시차라 너 손보 말에 시차라레지 너 손보 임비 값은 더 다른요 말이지
So when we have the flower, the seed no longer exists, it is died. And when we have the seed, when the seed is alive, we have not yet got the flower.
근데 나고
Does everyone understand this?
어야 야 저세들
Da sabamena da ni medogie tukke marese. Sabamena de medogie tukke marese.
도전선 거야
Gee,
대처럼 것도 된 바르지 나서 삼메텐디 삼근도
what you say is true, everybody thinks this.
옛날 사원 요나 나서 길로 통금은 되지
Even with the seed, it's not possible to grow a flower.
사원대 요나양 기특고 나서 작빈직된디나라 왜고 홍관世界에 작빈직된디나라 사원 라테니 뉴가 깨그레지 데니 지모샤니 왜관 世界에 인디나라 톤디 사원님 뉴가 깨그 만두지
So if we're looking at this from a macro perspective, we can say that yes, the flower is generated from the seed. However, if we're looking at this from a micro perspective, then we can't say this is the case.
다치 고전도지
Does everyone understand? Gogamindu. Gogamindu.
고터사 말이 야 그래 따자 어야 제 뜻이 그래 나서 집모신이 삼로타나 당의 양키르 찍제 연세 되니까 다만촌나 티톨라 작게 탑시 잠바즈 그 돈에 가서 시작해 연세
So Khenpo's going to give it another try, and if it doesn't work this time, he's going to try a completely different way of explaining it.
되니 가서 야미까 그동안도 멍부시하고요. 그다음 좋고요.
Well, Khenpo's given many teachings on this in Chinese before, and then the communication has been successful.
되니 버크까 그돌아야 멍부시하고요. 그다음 좋고요.
And he's given teachings in Tibetan on this many times too, and has also been successful.
인지 그돌아 그다음 좋단 좋거래.
So Khenpo is confident that it's possible to communicate effectively on this in English.
야, 다 양키르치 세게 연세. 다 가르르지나. 나서 당니 교소라 저하고 그만 렌제시트 잡건세.
So I'm not going to ask any more questions, I'm just going to explain it.
되니 나서 메독단 되니 코랑니까 디츠 찍어 돌아요 소나 되니 코니 그 빨라 제담 제고 제가 멘켄진도 오른 제가 작탑 그 말에 대교랑서 그 곤드 빼약 보레스
So that if both the seed and the flower exist at the same instant, it's not possible for them to have a cause and effect relationship. If everyone understands this is very good.
Ja. Dani takarti titochik tola mena pena dani nyukund mare sound dini tatapat in UP caps dini method taro maung bare dini ko yo mares.
So if they don't exist at the same moment, then when we have the seed, when the seed is existent, we don't yet have the flower.
Ja. Ja. Dani method dani tataba imbi caps dani sound korang debare chari dani yang yo mares.
And by the time that we have the flower, the seed no longer exists. It's in the past.
Ja. Dani ngacho ndo tataba imbi caps dani tata pasipo tomato dani debat tata yo mares maung bate yang tata yo mare dani ngacho kondu sha charson waze.
And when we have the seed, when it exists in this moment, it only exists in this moment. The past has passed, and the future has not yet arrived. This is what we spoke about before.
Oh yeah, the endi tini ngacho tan di sound di tola korang la nipa yore nipa di nipa te meto yara kia nipa ten di tola yore timi ngacho ten di sam go yore.
So that this seed has within it the potential to give rise to a flower is something that we all think.
Teni di nipati tini ngaso meto mepati yar yopashi gores.
The anjasone.
Andi ngaso nipata meto mepas tini yar yopashi gores.
So,
Di kapsa meto tarang yo marwa mepati yopashi gores.
do you want to have this one?
So if we accept that, then we would have to say that the potential of the seed is that there is a non-existent entity, which is the flower, and the potential is the possibility to make a non-existent an existent.
Oya tini meto mepati yopashi guna meto ti kapsa tsawani yo mareze pena namka tawre kana yo marindo tsawani yo mari ti kapsa tsawani yo mareze korang chikyam yo mareze ndo.
Yeah.
Metokti savunde yopi kapsarwa the metokti ti kapsawani yo mares.
And so at the time of the seed, the flower is not there at all. It's as existent as empty space.
Tatini ngatson di tola yopi me nipati tini mepaz korang yopazo gores.
So now
You go.
Now the potential of the seed, we would have to say, is to make something that's non-existent become existent.
Mepaz yopazo gore.
So that's what we're saying if we think that.
Yena ngatso mepatela tini shawatawani shithab yo mares. Korang mepare mepala kandi shawashi gore.
But the non-existent, how could it serve as to function, to produce or become a function such as that?
Kati korang yopazi yena ngatso tini di korang la yopatela shawa leka lena tini shawa shina tini chokoreze. Onjam mepazi yena tini shawa kandi shithab ko mares.
If it existed, then we could say that it had a function and it could serve to produce or to function in a certain way. But we're saying that it doesn't exist, so how could something completely non-existent serve as a function, or have a process?
That tindi yen sarti tini ngato kandi zerezina mepate yopate ni keko rupi jonglu ko tone shana ngato ta sawun di tini metong de keate sawani dripthap ko yo mares ngato rupi jonglu ko tila jeshu sawani gyapthap ko mares.
So therefore, if we examine then and we say, okay, if we're going to say there's such a thing as birth or production, then we're saying that non-existence becomes existent. And in the scriptural logic and investigation, then that isn't possible. And so we cannot say that there is the process of birth. We cannot prove or establish that there is a thing called birth.
The yinang muk oya yinang mukutana tini sawundela tini jungu yores.
But if we observe it, then it seems like the flower came from the seed. If you look at it.
Aya tini mukutana ti sawundela tini nyukundum jongwa tela tini temjirize gres.
And so if we observe it on an observational or watching it, we can say that it appears as if a flower is produced from a seed is interdependent origination.
Tani ripaga xiana ripaga takshi jemushina sawunla tini nyukun jongsar sawani yo mari tela tongni yores.
But if we use logic and we investigate on a very subtle level, we cannot establish that there was actual birth from the seed. And so we would say that birth did not occur.
A
brief introduction. Oh, and so since there's no origination, it is emptiness. That was the final.
So we're not going to go into complex theory anymore. We're going to explain things in a very happy and pleasant way. So if we are going to explain it in a way that is perhaps more easily understood, we can say that looking around us in the world, we perceive many things with our eyes, with our ears, with our sense of touch, and that all of these things appear to be truly existent. However, in actual fact, when we're in a dream, it's also the case that there are things that we can see, sounds that we can hear, and things that we can touch. So if we are going to explain then where these various phenomena arise from, then putting it very simply, we can say that all of these things are simply appearances or projections of our mind. So it's just as the same as a mirage-like city that we might see on the horizon in the desert. There appears to be buildings, there appear to be all kinds of formations, but in actual fact they don't exist. But the reason that this mirage-like city appears on the horizon is due to an interaction between light and the atmosphere. So, in a similar way, everything that we perceive in the world around us appears to be truly existent. There are things that we can see, there are objects that we can touch. However, if we think about all of this very carefully, we can discover that this is completely unfounded. So we did Yanja sonne chokampa. So we can discover that our eyes and our ears and our other senses things appear, in fact, to exist, but when we investigate them more carefully, we can find that they don't. So in respect of emptiness, it's important, or it's sufficient if we understand this primarily in relation to two things. The first of these is that all of the phenomena in the external world around us are but appearances. So we
Jamanda Mamboti Nangare, Tini Nangare, Mun Nangare, Toncher Nangare, Jamanda Nangare. Riti Tina Tisutamchi Tiangulayo Mares, Yosangomata Koranganala.
It's the same as if we look at this projector up here. It's able to project all kinds of images onto the wall in front of us. It's able to manifest appearances of mountains and people and buildings, etc. But in actual fact, these things, these people and buildings, etc., don't truly exist on the wall. They're produced in the projector.
Ina ngatsu samlo jibmo matang kapsu tini ngatsu dinala yosam ko yomar ngatsu kyangungola yosam ko yore.
However, if we don't think carefully about it, then we are of the view that these images exist on the wall and not in the projector.
Tini ngatsu kyangungola tani kapkapsu gag yore, kapkapsu ngu yore, kapkapsu chak yore ngatsu.
So we look at the wall and sometimes we cry at what we see, we laugh at what we see, we feel terror at what we see.
Ngatsu tamu tangken so zero, ngatsu tamu tangken so kyangungola tani, tani kapkapsu gamu gagre, kapkapsu ngure, tani shegre.
So we as watchers of shows and watchers of spectacle face a wall, from time to time laugh, time to time cry, and time to time feel scared.
Oh yeah, but
in actual fact, there is nothing existent on the wall.
Oh yeah.
So in not thinking about things carefully, then we treat the things that we see on the wall as true or as truly existent, or they produce in us feelings as if they were.
Tini tinala yoni music tini ngola chakyon goyona te ngomandra yombo tini ngatsu ngomandra bola yinna charne tini ngatsu te la chak o tinala tini pena drra tini z tingola chariona tini drla chakun so mutsu chak o tini shege yores.
So in clinging to the images that we see projected on the wall as true, this process of clinging engenders particular reactions. For example, we might see someone bleeding and feel a sense of fear, or see a snake projected on the wall and therefore feel a sense of fear.
So in clinging
to our own mind as if it were real, we So in just as in a dream, by clinging to our experience or regarding it or being attached to it as if it were real, it produces in us responses of happiness or suffering, just like in fact it was real.
Malam de nga chu chama ga tini zamba imba te ha ko yo re je te te nam ko re zina te nga chu malam ga na ni sat sarwi jini ko re ma to ba malam me ka sa nga chu malam zamba imba ko yo ma re.
Of course, everybody knows that dreams are not truly existent, that they are false. However, the time or the moment that we are aware that dreams are false is only after we have woken up from them.
Tindi yendi tini nga chu malam go te koranga pena nga chu malam ka kabla tini moshwanda ota tini dugbo yongya ta tindi te tini nga chu malam ga na la tini malam tindi yongna te nga chu nyingker kan chowa ga na la yongwa ta jabu shini nga chu la sim ga na la dungmer ta 대전 잡으시니 용거래지.
So, but when we are in our dream state, then if someone dies or if we're experiencing suffering, then these experiences are exactly the same as if they were happening in our real life.
야, 드니 멀음드 점바리 와지 정말라 저거. 정말라 저거 인생에 멀음드 점바리 와지. 멀음드 점바리 와지 정말라 저거.
Are dreams false?
내 코솔라 저거 인생. 멀음드 점바리 와지.
Is this the case?
Do you think dreams are not real?
Not real.
오야, 리오. 점바리 좋아. 오야. 드니 점바 있나? 드니 가서 멀음 메위네 겁나 드니 점바티 가서라 등을 망보더니 용건도 와지 멀음 거 값을 때 용거 언도.
However, does this belief that they are real when we are dreaming nevertheless produce a lot of suffering?
오야. 대 점선 강레스.
And what's the reason for this?
We think it's real.
야, 되지. 오야야야.
You can't say it exists, but you can't say that it doesn't exist.
진짜 그런 거.
Cosina teni di ngumare teni di chogmare ine yung di yang zumare yang zu teni she chogmare.
예. 야야야. 야. 다 내급성 가서 점말이지 난 그러지.
Well, for the time being, it's okay provisionally if we say that it's false.
야. 야. 드니 제제 땡아서 상마하고 그랬더니 점마 임바데 가서 하고 그랬다. 옛나양 나초 점마디 점마 임바 마시나티니 가서라 등물이 온 건도 와지.
So everyone, of course, knows that a dream is false. However, when we are not aware that something is false or not truly existent, then the experience is able to cause us suffering.
오야. 대 다리 교수 상마 같더니 셰송아 가서 멀음도 가서 뎀바레 삼송위 김선기 티니 가서라 등물이 온 거래제 건도 와지. 대 ngo마레제 가서 멀음데 임바 코랑 점바레 때 옛나 가랑초 코랑 점바 임바 마시피 김선기 티니 가서라 등물이 온 거야레제.
So it's just as everyone has said, the reason that dreams produce or potentially produce suffering is because we treat them as if they were real, and it is in not realizing that they are not real that we suffer.
드니 점바임바다 마시나 가솔라 등물이 온 김선데 치레스.
So what is the reason that we experience suffering when we don't know that something is not real? Marikbazis.
마르바.
Dan zimba.
점바. 무슨 컨설이? 예, 표현 같은 뎀바레스.
Clinging. What you said is right.
제 된 점바레스. 점바. 샘 그 담부신 점바데레스.
Yes, it's just this clinging, this tight clinging.
페르나데니 나랑 같으니 물름 거 나라 나랑 카콤바든지 드니 값스페나 내 때랑 인거 천통지 말거나 나랑 카콤비니 금낭이 물름 거 나라 치 물름 거 나라 용거레스.
So it's just as if I was in a dream and I felt extremely thirsty, as if I hadn't had anything to drink all day.
대 치르지나 나랑 그때 치테라 디 값스티니 나랑 같으니 치테디니 페낭이 물름 거 나라 나랑 카콤니 나랑 그 치즈더니 락소나 데니 치테 잠바치 그 나라 촉소나 데니즈 물름즈미나 데니 셈나라 등물이 온 거레스.
And if in this dream I was to come upon a cup of water and yet someone was to steal away this cup of water from me, then I would experience suffering.
디 김선체레지나 데니 교랑 소세야 데레지 내 당보 나랑 그 치트 점바임바 마시바레 데니 니바티 나랑 그 뎀바존에 셈그 나라 담보시니 중요레진 점바요레 따그레지.
So the reason for this is as everyone has just said. Firstly, that I don't realize that it is I don't realize that it is not true or truly existent. And then secondly, that I cling to my belief in its true existence. Does everyone think that this is the case?
Tani ta nzimba ga top nga chu dingmer ta so saman nzimba ga top ko yung yo pati ko songa.
So from this, then, do we understand that in fact all of our suffering comes from clinging?
야. Tani korang nga chu nzimba shisa korang zimba inna korang dimba inna chokore dimba manna chokore te nga chu tam rewa chikchi yo mare nga chu go sem ga nala nzin sarti tani nga chu la dingmer ter yung gores.
And in fact, ultimately, as to the object of our clinging, it doesn't matter whether it's truly existent or whether it's not. The very fact of us clinging to it produces suffering.
아야. tani nga chu nangba ga tani nala tawa ga nala tani nzimba to so par meba shi go ze ga yores.
So that's why, according to the Buddhist view, we say that it's necessary to eliminate all clinging.
tani nga chu de jimba jipter ga nala tani nzimba shona tawa menze tani nga chu tawa to nzimba meba tani go ze wi gimchen de teres.
So that's why in the fourth line it says, if there is grasping or clinging, you do not have the view. And it's for this reason that we say it's necessary to do away with our clinging.
tani ta chama ga samlo tang da nga chu mulum la tani nzimba meba ze she go na tapshi yakshu de kang res.
So what does everybody think? What is the best way to eliminate our clinging to the dream state?
Wake up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, that's right. Wake up.
Yes.
Is there any other way besides this?
Yeah.
Deni milam kanana deni milam deni mipati deni hakona yan chokres. Yes, also if one realizes when one's dreaming that one's in a dream, this is also a possibility.
Tani milam ga saggo ata milam ga nala milam yimba ko go wi gimsen sheres.
So what is the reason that we need to wake up from a dream or otherwise realize when we're having a dream that we are dreaming?
Stop suffering. Stop suffering.
Recognize
the empty nature of phenomena.
Tini chetamje dini tongbani ke rangshin dini hako bi cheta dendo shego.
이거야.
To get out of the habit of believing what we perceive.
Tini so takpa deni tonje te demba yin ke deni zimba kumshidi meba shebi cheta dire.
야. 제스. 야. 다 같이 때리지. 가서 삿고위 김선다. 되니 멀음 그나라 멀음 땅거요 바테 가서 시고위 김선데 체레지나. 되니 가서 멀음 그나라 나와테서 짐바임바 시고위 김선지레지. 짐바임바 시고. 짐바임바 시소나 되니 가서 짐바데 멘조르지. 코랑 짐바임바 코랑 짐바임바데 시소나 되니 가서 짐바데 멘조르지.
Yes, everywhere. It says everyone has approximately said the reason that we need to wake up from a dream or otherwise to realize when we are dreaming that we're in a dream is so that we can realize that it is not true and therefore do away with our attachment and clinging.
되니 가서 karti zimba yembate mashina. 대 가서 되니 결혼건 zimba 신양 그 말에지니 가서 라마가 가서 람난자 파마가 가서 라제난자 쪽보가 가서 라제난자 찌찌판도요 말이지 가서 zimba 마시나.
If we don't understand that what we are clinging to in fact doesn't truly exist, then regardless of who might urge us to not cling to it, whether it be our own lama or our mother or father or even our friend, it won't do any good.
되니 가서 zimba yembate 시소나 되니 잠바시 그 결혼 그때 딜란 zimba 시고 리즈나 가서 zimba 시고 말이지 가서 라는 그 소소런 그 zimba yemba 시사나 되니 저 아빠가제나 아마가제나 스가제나 가서 zimba 시고 말해 다다 zimba리 삼네 가서 되니 거 그랬어.
Once we understand, however, that what we are clinging to in fact doesn't truly exist, then even if someone tells us that we should cling to it, again, whether it be our teacher, our parent, or our friend, we would no longer be willing to do so, knowing it to be false.
근데 인디 가서 따따은 소화대양 지바르제 가서 따르틴 소화 현실 생활 따르틴 소화대양 되니 가서 zimba yemba 시소나 되니 물음 zimba yen 나가서라 등을 마용 안다고 Teni nga tsun tsuwan di nani dungmur chikyang yung ko mares.
So just the same, if we realize that our everyday or our so-called real life is in fact not truly existent, then just as by realizing in a dream that we are in a dream, this realization will eliminate all of our suffering.
Teni nga tsuwan tsuwa nang la teni dungmur chimbo yung nanja, dungmur chongchong yung nanja, tsama ta nga rang tsuwan zimba te la teni shung yo res.
So in fact, all of the suffering that we experience in life, whether it be suffering of a great nature or just a small kind of suffering, all comes from our clinging.
Teni nga tsu tar nga yanchul la ina kangri zire zina mi mang chi shu zika teni susu go sem go tola teni dungar mambo teni yung teni shepi kapsa teni dungun da nga rang ka sem ka nani teni yung kandu sambate samga mare zo dungar te shilong ni teni nga rang la ching mandrik pa shilong ni ching mandrik pa teni zika jimsan ni teni shung kandu samne ta te samga yo re.
Up until this point, most of us have tended to think that whenever we experience suffering, that the reason for it or the cause for it is somehow located in something not right in the external world.
Teni shirtang shirur ni teni nga tsola pe na chi suso ndopa mandra pandra o ta shawa lamdru me pandra ta tuso teni chi nga tso semka na la dungur yung ya te shirur layang yo rezi tawani yo ma rezi na yo rezi shirur layang nga tso shirur ka teni chi ngupo tso layang teni rak leg rezi.
This is not to say, of course, that we don't experience suffering that comes from events that happen in the external world, such as when we don't achieve our aims or when we encounter bad luck. Of course, our life depends on the material world.
Teni zuwota teni ta nga tso suso rang teni semka na ni nzamba tambo shivjak pi jemsenji teni yung nduzi dungmur tsangma.
But the primary reason for the cause of all our suffering actually comes from our tight clinging to things in our minds.
Te le lapurezi pe jana pe na ngarang la teni ngupon den rizi yona chisut teni langola jawa teni rizi yona teni ngarang de la ha lepa semka na la nzamba tambu shini te ngarang de la ha lepa gani teni shi pi kapsu teni ka ten de porsona te ngarang ka semka na la dungur mambo yungres.
And this is a very straightforward logic to demonstrate. We could say that any one object, any one thing, if I hold onto it extremely tightly, if I grasp onto it extremely tightly, I like it very much, I really treasure it. If I were to lose this thing, then of course I would suffer greatly.
Teni perna tarta ngarang la teni chisun de la nga semka na la nzamba chimbo yona yang teni nga tsu sem tin yerwa mambo yungres. Ten gerwati country yung ngarang so rang yang ha ko mare te indi teni yang na dawa chi yang na dawa ni yang na lo she ka teni zi jila teni ngarang de lan zamba me pa teni zi yung na yang ha ko mare.
Despite the fact that we might cling to things tightly, however, these minds of ours in fact change all the time. It's possible that within the space of several months that our mind and their attitude to the things that we're clinging to may change significantly.
Teni ngarang ka ngupon de lan zamba me pi ne kapna pe na lo she ka dawa sam teni zi jila teni de porsona teni ngarang la dungur chi ji ya mare ze oh te porson zo data porna ma porchi me samni teni samgres.
And if I were to, say, lose this treasured watch 2 or 3 months into the future when I no longer felt particularly attached to it, then I wouldn't feel a very strong sense of suffering. I would just think, oh, well, there you go, I lost my watch.
Ta teni indi nga tsogo teni dungur teni mepa shetap te teni kanti rezi na nga tsu chuluk nangchuk na la dungur mepa shetap te tang nga tsu jistim baga teni dungur mepa shepi tapshi di tapshi teni chonzo zendraga manduzi.
So how we go about eliminating our suffering or addressing this clinging, the Buddhist approach and the worldly approach are in fact dissimilar.
Teni nga chun jiktem pa ga teni kandishi ga rezena pe na ngarang la teni sem go tolan dopa ma khangwa o teni zi yona teni sholok la sone ngarang la teni pe jana ngarang khamba chimbo zi teni yo go sam teni ngarang la khamba chimbo te mepi gimsen gi nga ga ti dumur yona teni nga cho jiktem pa ga kandishi ga rezena teni nga sone leka mambo le gormo mambo sa teni khamba chimbo te teni nyo 대뇨네 되니 나랑가 셈거 되니 등월때 매바 된디가 탑시수 시거래 제가 준직된가 봐.
So the worldly approach to eliminating suffering would be in respect of a particular desire that we are not yet able to fulfill. Would be, well, if we use the example of, let's say, the big house that we want to buy, that we don't currently have and feel that because we don't have it, we are suffering for this reason. In this situation, what we would do is, or a worldly person would go out, they would work hard, make a lot of money, and eventually buy this house. This is the approach that they would take to eliminate the suffering of not having it.
Teni nga tsu nang chu na yin teni ti kapsa teni nga tsu so rung sim te la girchu gyamni teni ta dumur mayong wa tefshi kres.
However, the Buddhist approach to this same situation would be to make changes at the level of our minds in order to eliminate the suffering.
Teni tabshi tiniki nani teni gang gagresena pena nga tsu jitim bag teni tabshi tendra boshina Teni nerkavse pe na nga zo kamba chimbo zu nyoke raksong na ngarang la sim gana la o ta nga kamba chimbo raksong samni sim gana la kibun rawa yunga rete ina yang lo chik lo niga jini yang ngarang ka sim gana la ta nga teli kyang kamba zik teli kyang yakbo zu go samni teni tendi sam yunga re di kapsa yang nga teli kyang chimbo zu marak na teni nga sim gana la yang dingmur yunga re.
So which of these two approaches is in fact the more preferable? Well, if we first consider the worldly approach, let's just say that we work hard and we are able to buy a house to satisfy our desires, then this might bring us a sense of satisfaction, a sense of happiness for the time being, but with the passing of a year or 2 years, then we might start to think, well, I want an even bigger house than this. And if we're not able to afford it, then our suffering would reappear.
Teni nga tso kanti tini kamba yakboz yo na yang teni yang nga tso kamba tele kyang yakboz mi jambala yo patan tongwi kapsa teni ngarang te yakbo mandu ta nga tele kyang yakboz yo go ndu samne teni ndoba te kyong gre.
Or, for example, if we found ourselves in a situation where others had even nicer houses than ourselves, then the desire would arise in us to buy an even better house, to be even better than others, and then suffering would result.
Tenti inti nga chun zambalang na teni chi kamba yakbo mambu mukirki yore se teni mukirki yore mena nga chun nyamchanda teni njemda ta tsogo na la mambo tongu yore teni nga chun tso la tandik ti teni nga la tenti zi goondu nga la tele yakza goondu samne teni nga chun dopa ti tsawani kamba mepa tenti teni kone kondam perne teni yen rambon perne ro.
And in fact, in the world, there are many beautiful houses that we can see with our eyes, and we see advertisements for them on television, on billboards, etc. And in seeing these images, the desire to acquire these houses is sown in us. It grows all the time, ultimately to an insatiable level.
Teni nga chun nangchu tabshi ti karesina teni shilogla teni ti tabshi ti nga chun teni shilogla teni ti tabshi duya tabshi ti shilogni teni gormo tsarya tang kampanyo ya teni mayimbar teni nangni sosorang ka sim go tola teni girju yakbo zi gyamni teni sim ti yakbo zi teni yang takba zi ka lamlan roya teni shekare zi nangchu ina.
So the Buddhist approach in this situation is, rather than turn to the external world and accumulate lots of money in order to buy a house to satisfy our desires, the Buddhist approach would be to turn to our minds and make changes or reform our attitudes and orient ourselves on the correct path.
Teni nga tsu sem ka toni yakbo teni zi ne teni tabshi tsar sondi teni maung bala nga tsu kamba chenpo gandhi zi rignanda kamba zigbo kanti mambo zirgnanda kang yana tela ndopa kene teni sem kanala dungur mambo teni unji yamarez sem tone yapo shi charti.
And once we're able to properly work on our minds, then in the future, regardless of how big a house or beautiful house we might see, seeing this house would not necessarily will no longer produce a strong sense of desire and the suffering that goes with it.
Pena nga so papa ga thola teni jangwa wenzra papa ga thola nga so teni jangwa ga teni mungda. So
it's just like if a mosquito lands on our hand and bites us, then we feel itchy and we need to scratch it.
Then 가시스티 값스티니 측나 되니 다가 잡측 마용 와시니 되니 대츠 초라 되온다 용고요래 되니 대 측니 되니 된주셔요 제티 가티 양 되니 잡측 되니 용나 되니 가서 빠빠 돌아 마르네 되니 양 타르 드머진도 그랬어.
So some people even begin to start scratching when they've just got a slight little tickle. And if this is the case, then when it really starts to itch, if we scratch it even more, then it will turn into a sore and then we'll really suffer. So what this is the a worldly approach. The Buddhist approach would be one that works on the hand at before the itch has manifested. And we don't need to scratch our skin until it has started to become itchy. So the difference between the worldly approach and the Buddhist approach is that from a worldly point of view, happiness is scratching the itch or being able to scratch the itch, whereas the Buddhist approach is the happiness of the state of skin before it is even itchy.
The Jitim Bagal Tari Tapshiti Kangrezina Penangaso, Zimbas Shonsarna Penangaso, Ne Delatini Simganalang in Zimba Chimbu, Shonsarti Tinini Tola, the new down social tabnet Tenita, Zaptic Shonsons, Shonsarsons in Ditola. Pejana Arangan Delatini Simganalan Zimba, Zimba Shonsarti, Dalan Zimba Shonsarti, the Nipena Zaptic John so Jamni Zaptic and go. So
once my mind arises a feeling of attachment for something, then this is the same as if an itch or an itchy bite has already appeared on our skin.
Then is Zaptic Chimbuto so tini young Tuna young Taron Zaptic Yungore, young Tuna Zaptic Yungore, then Mambo to go, Mambo Tuni, tini Papa. Teni dorne teni tar marindo anda pore teni ngaso zambachik shona teni tartan dalan zambare teni yang tele yaboz go samne tenyo re yang yabo go samne tenyo ne teni thamme patin direndo res.
So just as when we scratch an itchy bite, it continues to become even more itchy, and the itchier it gets, the more we need to scratch it. This is the same as having a tight attachment to a particular thing. Our desire continues to grow. We always want something that is bigger or something that is better, and our desire continues to grow in this endless kind of way.
Teni nangbagina teni tambone teni körang de pesho tangna chokse pesho tangna rugureze körang pesho tangna de tisut latayari pesho tangna do ina andelan zamba haliba chembu mashita teni körang zaptik yongmareze teni songoreze.
So the Buddhist approach would be, in the situation of the watch, to say that it's okay for someone to use the watch to avail themselves of its function as a timepiece, but not to become too attached to it or cling to it too tightly.
Then Zimba Mayawati Kandishi goes it. Angatsun Zimbati, Natsu Lila Bosmaris, Natsula, Zimba Mashin, Zimba Mashis, and Angatsu, Zimba Munzimbatin is Lila Bosawani, Marangatsu, Simganala, Mupokala in Nape, Tambon division in Ziniorite, Tapshis Yogore Mato, Tapshimena Lila Bomares.
However, not to be attached to something or not to cling to something is not an easy thing at all to do. Although we say, of course, don't be attached, don't cling, etc., in actual fact, our tendency is to cling very tightly to things. So in order to not to cling, in order not to be attached, we need a method to guide and enable us.
Teni nga tsu nangba ga zena kandi sanji ga kandi songo yor zena kyorang kangba chimbo ga nala mandugse ga yo mare kyorang kangba chimbo yo na ti nala ndugse yinna te kangba chimbo yinna chongchong yinna te la nzimba halipa chimbo ma shi songo yores.
So what the Buddha said was, on this point, if you've got a great big house, there's no one's to say that you shouldn't live in it. If you have such a house, by all means do live in it. However, regardless of its size, whether it's big or whether it's small, don't be excessively attached to it.
Teni kyorang nzimba tindi chimbo mena kyorang ka kangba ti kandi chimbo zina ti kyola dumur chichi tar te ga mares.
For the reason that if one is not excessively attached to it, then regardless of the size of house one may live in, there will not be a feeling of excessive clinging and the associated suffering.
Teni nzimba tindi chimbo mena teni nga tso karte charkin yo na rang teni kangba yakbo tindi chimbo zga la dena chokore karte charkin tindi chimbo mena teni nga tso kangba tab de bonda zga la dena chokore nzimba mena teni halipa goyang bo tab de bores.
So if we don't have a strong sense of attachment, or if we don't cling in a tight way, then if our conditions and situation so permit, if we have a big house, we can live in it. If our conditions don't provide in this way, then we can just live in a simple and basic house. In any case, without a strong sense of attachment, we can live in a very open and flexible and convenient way.
Teni nzimba te yo tsarti, teni nga yinda manda nga kangba chimbo go nala dego, nga kangba dzigbo go nala dego samni, teni samyong go rez.
However, as soon as we feel a strong sense of attachment, then we start to think, oh, I need to live in a big house, I need to have a fancy car.
Teni nga tsu sim go nala nzimba ma shizeya tetang, teni kapshit ra kushin, o kapshit teni chigba mare teni kaka rez.
So, in saying that we shouldn't cling to things or that we shouldn't be excessively attached to them, this is different from advocating an asceticism or an ascetic approach.
Teni nga tsu nangba ga na teni kyorang yinda manda teni kapshit kan chowa teni zi kirgo te zega yo mare ze. Te kapshit kan chowa kirgo zega yo mare. Te kangre ze na kyorang ga chowa kangri zi kir nanja te la teni ga nzimba halipa chimbo te mashi te sungo yo rez.
So Buddhism doesn't teach that we should pursue an ascetic life of deprivation. What it does teach, however, is that whatever lifestyle we lead, we should do so without excessive clinging.
Teni nzimba te mayongwa te la ta tabshi go reze nga tso tari gona yang shayo nga tso tabshi yakboz mena teni kyorang ga nzimba ma shi zina nga tso oya ta nzimba shigaman teni le laboz ma reze.
However, as we just said, in order not to cling to things, we need a method or we need a technique. Just saying don't cling to things is not really enough.
Tani ta tabshi kare go rezena tani chikte kang rezena nga sun de martak bare ze yo reze korang martak bare terang ngala yo na sani yo ha ko mare tani sani yo na nga nani yo ha ko mare korang martak ba korang yerware tani ngarang ka sem ka nala tambo shini tani zona terang ngal de yowi kapsa ngarang ka sem ka nala gabu yong reta sani nga maybe kapsa tani ngarang ka sem ka nala tani hale ba dumur mambo yong re tani yendi korang martak bare ze tani nga so nge ndi korang tak ban ro shini de nga terang yang yogo sani yang yogo maung bana yang nga yogo samne nge tani shini sem nang ka zamba tambo shina tani korang mupu chuni kte korang martak bare terang yo na sani korang mepa tani korang ka chuni je tani mupu chuni te da ngarang ka tani samlu tani ka ngarwa ren ro wi kapsa tani nge sem ka nala dumur mambo yong re.
So the nature of this object is indeed impermanent. That is to say, I'm in possession of it today, but whether or not I will be tomorrow, this is difficult to say. Or even if I still have it tomorrow, whether or not I'm going to have it the day after is not something that I can say clearly either. The nature or the natural attributes of this object are impermanent. It is something that is changing. And for this reason, if I cling to it too tightly, I will be happy when I am in possession of it. However, tomorrow, when I am no longer in possession of it, I will feel immense suffering. So it's on account of regarding this object as something that is permanent, something that I need to have in my possession today, tomorrow, and always, that we experience suffering when our situation is at odds or in conflict with the way that we view the object. So in viewing the object as something that is permanent and as something that should always be with us, when it no longer is, we experience suffering due to this contradiction.
Tani ngatsun din nani ngatsu natun halipa chimbochik go rezia. Natun chimbochik di gang rezina ngatsu go sem ga nala yong wi dungmer tsama di gang ni yong go zina ngatsu soso go ndopa te ta ngupo go chunyi te ni mantan ni ngarwa re song wi jemsinji tani ngatsu la dungmer sem ga nala dungmer yong go yores.
So within this example is a very important logic that we need to understand, and that is that all of our suffering stems from a situation when our own desires are at odds with the nature or the natural attributes of things, or the reality of things.
Tani ngatsu ta lojung kan de go rezina ngatsu sim te ngarang ka ta ngatsu ta wa de dang ngupo go chunyi ni kan tumbo tin dis yong go re tin di ona tin dungmer mambo yong go mendoze.
So the goal of our Dharma practice then is to bring our minds into harmony with the reality of things. And if we are able to do this, then conflict and contradiction will not arise.
Tani ndo mertak bare zia te ngupo korang chunyi reze te korang mertak bare terang ngala yo na sani ngala yo ha ko mari nani ngala ha yo ha ko mari te konjerwa mambo 용 초코레 되니 때 그런 거 중요지 우부 참마 되는 게라 레지 되니 가서 그 셈거 양들이 다 그런 게라래 때 레삼니 때 양보서 가서 고알린 가서 당린 양보시 탑나 되니 드물 메바린도 그래 되니 가서 당린시 마탑니 되니 동거 돌란 게라래 얘나 나랑 저거 되는데 나라 때랑 양 나랑라 요고 산이 양 요고 너니 양 요고 삼니 딱 반라오시나 되니 가서 되니 셈거 나라 된 점바티 톱그 드물만 보용 그래.
So that the natural reality or the character, the attributes of this object is impermanent is something that we need to understand. We need our minds need to understand this. Our minds need to accept this. If our mind is not able to accept this and instead insists upon regarding this object as something that is permanent, that does not change, that always should be in our possession, then when it no longer is, the suffering will arise.
Teni tabshi chigdi terisi martak bayin bate. Teni tabshi ni bate kangrezina teni ndo zimba rizego yoresi zimba.
So the first approach we can take is to understand the impermanent nature of things. The second approach we can take is to understand that they are not truly existent.
Teni zimba yimbate mashini ngarancho undo dimba yin samni tenti samsona teni dimba yin samna teni ngacho ndela zimba ke greze. Teni zimba ke na teni ngacho la dumur yong gre te tari ngacho kongla mulum go thoko teni samaga lan jap songa te tang chik bares.
So just as we spoke about before, when we regard something to be truly existent, or something that is not truly existent to be existent, and therefore become attached to it, then suffering arises. And we illustrated this before with the example of a dream.
Teni ngacho la zimba kanjizi nyongna teni dumur tenjizi nyongres.
The extent to which we cling to something determines the extent to which we suffer.
Teni zimba kanji mambo yona Tani dungmar tendi mambo yungal. Duk tengupo te korang teni shirtanga ngasun rolik tendis rendus.
So the more we cling to something, the more suffering we experience, and this is how things generally work.
Tani ta ngaso dungmar sani me pasu shegona, tani nzimba sani me pasu shegore.
So if we are going to completely eliminate suffering, then it is necessary to completely eliminate clinging.
Tani nge samna ngaso terang ngaso shapin nzimba me pate ngaso rumba ni shego dosam gandos.
So I think that it is useful today to speak about clinging in terms of two levels.
Tani shikti ngaso chowa ganala, tani ngaso chowa nala ngaso 강화 있나 되니 랑코리나 강요나 소소랑 그 배쇼 따나요 초코리 레티 있나요 되게 대소 탐시 볼라 되니 할레방 좀 받침보 마시 받든지라 롭나 로중시나 되니 가서 된지지 시 탑그레스.
And in the first sense, I would say that in our everyday lives, the various things around us, whether it be our houses and other objects, that we should be free to use them. However, we need to learn that while using them, at the same time, not to cling to them too tightly.
Tini te ngaso yang gum gore ma gumna yo te thok mare te gumna kang go gore jana ngaso martak pa gum gore je tani zimba yimba tani tongba ni tongni kana ni te tab depo tongni to so gum gore.
So in order to train ourselves to regard things in a way that isn't characterized by excessive clinging, it's necessary for us to habituate ourselves to this approach through meditation. One approach is meditating on impermanence, and the other would be meditating on emptiness.
Tani ngaso nangba ngubo tamche tini martakbare ngubo tamche zimbare ngubo tamche tongbare zini tini mambo zo song de go gimsen de kangre zina te ngaso ngubo te solan zimba chimbo mebi gimsen meba ga tapshi te song go yores.
So the reason that in Buddhism we always speak about all phenomena being impermanent, all phenomena not being truly existent, phenomena being empty, etc., the reason that we always talk about this is in order to reduce attachment or to eliminate attachment and the suffering that results.
Teni te ngaso teni rambate za mamu teni Teri ngaso tari kungla teni tongba ke jedam jeo parla teni shapaz teni gyapa yenata tate kobda yak bozun chona mamchona tarong chakare ngaso yang toni tokba te yenna mana tenji ke tapshi yenna mana shapa chi bugu mare tapshi mambu yores.
So this is at a rather basic level. Of course, this afternoon we were addressing emptiness through a logical argument in terms of cause and effect. Of course, this is not to say that the only way to realize emptiness is through a logical process of examination.
Ngaso terang shapa jawyati teni tez kos kodam chosong anda ore kodam mamcho panda ore ngune tanim choda mamcho na ngeyong ko masong.
So this afternoon, my attempt to convey emptiness through a rational, logical discussion, whether or not this was successful or not, in something that I have not.
저디 나랑 그 탑시 딘득 마송세네 올로버트 딘디셔 자가래서 저디 나랑 그 탑시 딘데 딘득 마송세 올로버트 딘디스 녀자서 샤자 비김슨지레스.
Probably the reason for this is that the approach I used was a little inadequate. It just suddenly came to me.
I'm sorry.
However, no worries about this. There are many other methods at our disposal for conveying the same meaning. However, it's probably the case that many of you here already understand the logic that we were talking about.
yang ina nga su ta namgin din la nga su pe na yang kha shi ta namgin tin ni lop ta te su na la yang yo ma khum khen ta da tin di yu ji ri de yang te so yang te zi yang ju lower de tin di sha ja na yang ma go an ra wo tin di yong ge res.
However, it's also possible that here today among us are some people who don't usually have a lot of time to attend classes and teachings and so forth, and so all of a sudden to land everyone with this example might have been a bit difficult.
Tini shapan de so pe yak bo re ngarang ka shapan de so la lo jong shi ni lo sim chi tam ba re song se.
In actual fact, this logical approach to understanding these issues I regard as very useful, and I have engaged in this kind of study and exegesis for 30 years.
Tini di jila tini nga cho pe na nofsho ko tini chanye rig ban da da tini nofsho ko tini ju char ko tini ko ngukhum rig ba ko tindi la yang lo jong
and then after doing this study for about 30 years, I also have had the opportunity to learn a little bit about Western philosophy as well as physics.
Tene nga so oma go sha ba te tsawa ni ndrig mendu tinti je mendu tinti tsawa ni sam go mendu ze nga so oma ga na la sha ba te ngoni jen de hali pa yak borin de sam ni di nga so zo wo de tin chan ni rig ba ga na la ta chim bu zu mendu da zo wo de ni ngu kham rig ba te so yak bo ko na te pe pan to yak bo yong de.
So while I was learning about Western philosophy and learning a bit about physics too, I never once thought during the process of learning about these other things that the Buddhist philosophical approach, in particular the Madhyamaka approach, was in any way inadequate. On the contrary, as I learned about other things, I came to think that the Madhyamaka approach was all the more wonderful.
Tene ngaranga ti sem ga na la ngupo khashilan zimba shongni dungmer shongna ngaranga thapsi te peshe tang yo te zimba re ze yo ze rang rang la.
So whenever I find myself clinging a bit too tightly to anything, then I use this same approach myself. I tell myself what you are clinging to is not truly existent, is false. And this benefits me greatly. And this approach will surely have benefit for everybody.
Tambo nga so tene ne tomba ni tene gom sertela tab depo go ni shapa halipa nyutra tene me mambo menken tene tab depo go ni yore penati shunji kana la tene ganza ka dagme tene pena nga so ganza rang mar me baton ya tene shapa tene yore pena tin rapote pe tab le lapores tene zikon go tsgna te yabo insares.
So in terms of contemplation of emptiness, it's not necessary that we begin with really complicated logic or complicated argumentation. In fact, in the way of a bodhisattva, there is an exercise on coming to the conclusion of no self, and this is a good place to start with this.
Halipa yakbos chikte teni jamgum mitham sanga teni songa nala shadgum khurlo mazigri khurlo koranga mangre oya teni shadgum khurlo maziki teni pe le labos yozi teni te halipa yakshuyun te nyamlim sina halipa yakbo yore panto yore goa yang teni len samures.
Paloma, what's the name of the text? The Wheel of... Yeah. Okay. Another really useful text would be Mipham Rinpoche's Wheel of Analytical Meditation. This is an easy or accessible text that is easy to understand and also easy to practice on.
Then le lapo ning gonzigna teni ko ayak bo leng thap kore.
So by starting off at this basic level and proceeding from this basic level, then it's relatively easy to gain a clear understanding.
Teni ngacho gyarki ngala dewi kapsa teni ketam chire la komba pona yak bore teni ketam ni simla teni pona nyamdu pona teni ngacho yang po thap kamare.
So when we're ascending a staircase, we need to start off with the first step and then ascend each step at a time. It's not so good if we leap immediately to the second or third step.
Terang ngacho siapata kambas chik teni ketam simla teni po anda teni zresonse.
So today's example was perhaps the equivalent of 3 steps above the first one.
Oh yeah, teni inna teni te so ngacho ji kyong mare thapsi le lapo thapsi yore nyota jang ka thapsi yore shapa jaw mambund shapa jaw surt pansum sopa yore zi ngoma nala.
However, this is no problem. In addition, besides this, there are all kinds of more accessible and straightforward analytical approaches that we can take, particularly in the Madhyamaka teachings.
Teni ripi jonglu ko tone ngacho lojong te tsina teni shindo rezi teni pena ketso changmala teni shertang nga so rigni ga mangji yakbo yore teni mangji yakbo yo chati ti tone shapa te jamna lelabo shigrezi ripi jonglu ko tone.
So in terms of this kind of theoretical argumentation, this is something that everyone would be advised to learn a little bit about, and indeed all of you have a good level of a good educational foundation. So upon this, to learn about analytical argumentation is something that's relatively easy.
Inang deni ripi jonglu ko tini shipati nga sola pantok chimbu yo mare.
However, an analytical approach or an intellectual approach is not one that ultimately brings us the greatest benefit. What really brings us great benefit is actual practice.
Tini ripi jonglu ko kowa te ripi jonglu ko kowa te ti tini nga chun zamba te mepa she gona kabores.
And just an intellectual understanding or an intellectual understanding, it's rather difficult for this to eliminate our clinging.
Teni ripi jonglu ko teni koate shapa koate nga su nyamnyung ko thola para girgo re.
So it's for this reason that it's necessary for us to transform our intellectual or theoretical theoretical understanding through practice.
Teni ti nyamnyung ti teni nga so teni zambate so tamchu mara mepa she gona teni le labo yore.
And through experience, eliminating our attachment is something that we can easily do.
Teni ta nga sun zamba to so mena zamba mena taware song yore teni nga sun zamba kangla ngupo kangla zamba shona teni te la shapa javni te tomba ni ta tan la phap go re.
Nga
sun zamba teni zamba shon zamba bepa tawarin zamba shona tawa menji teni nga sun zamba kangla shona pena ndela zamba kina teni nga sun ru ndela zamba kina nyu ka tandarin dala ya ndela zamba shona teni nga sun ndela teni shapa javni mepa tango re.
So, as it is said, if there is clinging, there is no view. So, whenever we find ourselves regarding something with clinging or attachment, then we can use an analytical approach to prove for ourselves that whatever it is in question is not truly existent. And if I find myself being attached to this, then I can similarly use an analytical approach to show that it doesn't exist. So it's possible wherever we find ourselves clinging or whatever we find ourselves clinging to, that if we use this analytical approach, we will be able to prove for ourselves that all of these objects of clinging are in fact empty. However, this is not the best approach available to us.
디 김성가르지나 때 우부 멍부요리 때 우부 멍부 틴디즈라 샤파 잡고나 때 차르기요 말이스.
For the reason being that so far as objects are concerned, they are very abundant in number. And if we had to analytically deconstruct them in this way every time, this would be an endless task.
Tani nga tsun zimbachi saga yirti mambu haliba mambu yores. Rete zimbachi nkante chig mato yo mares.
And at the same time, whilst there are an endless number of potential objects of our attachment, ultimately there is only one being who is generating attachment to them.
Pejana nga tsu chongkirndi nangla. Tani kama jamkante di mukama ziona. Tani nga tsu kangba chiri gola tani za jamne gola tani zamboshi gona tepe kabores. Tele kama chikten zongjana tani te gagres.
Dit is the go Catholicism.
Go to zabjab zina so.
So it's the same as saying, let's just say there was a thief in this city. If we were to, as a countermeasure, go about trying to put locks on the door of every house, this wouldn't be the best approach to take. The best approach would be simply to catch the one thief.
And
that one thief, that soul thief, is our mind.
Yeah. Tani korang yakbozu shivjana tani tsama yakborin rores.
And by bringing this mind into line, then everything else will follow properly.
Tani te kanti she gores na charang so tani tapa yakbo jak gores soso lama la tapa yakbo jak. Tani ngororum bochi tomba santi shakya tapa tetso la tapa yakbo jane sora yakbondeb gores.
And in order for this mind to be made good, this is something that something that everyone needs to generate great faith for. Everyone needs to place faith in their Lama, place great faith in the Buddha and Guru Rinpoche, and pray sincerely to them.
Natsu kawsha na mambusha yo mare tonye zete tsuni tomato jambayo mares. Kawsha gona mambusha ji yo mare tomba nyezi ji tsuni tomato jamba ji yo mare kaga mambusha na machina go mares. Tsuk mambo yo mares. Oh. Ta natsu soran demni nyamnyung go goni gum jamna te ko remato pa kawsha na ko kabore te tsuk mambo yo mare tonye ji tsuni tomato mambo ji yo mares.
So, in fact, talking about emptiness, expending a lot of words to explain it or to convey its meaning, ultimately, at the end of the day, there is only one word, emptiness. And so, for this reason, the best way to go about realizing it is through meditation practice and through placing our faith appropriately.
Kumbayo in Nekosutini, then a Rungo Yabondo was the Rungo Latini Sone, that's a Rugatola Mus Mepat in Dizla Sone, then Namshi Yabo in Bicapsitini, Namkala Trimba Mepa, or Tendi in Bicapsitini, Nima Jabniser, Nimala Japtun, Java, Nimala Japtun go, Kosoa, Nimala Japtun, Teni Partani, Dendichitata, Teniti, Namkala Tani, Digda, teachers of how going goes.
So the best thing to do is around us here in Salt Lake City are many mountains, and so the best thing to do would be when you have some free time, go up to the mountains to a place where there are no other people on a day when the weather is good, when the sky is clear, and to sit with the sun shining behind you and to look into the clear sky, and then you will understand.
Teni kyoso Marione, kyoso Lamala, Kimser Natsu Jijin Thomason, Namkala Zabzashini Tainda, Jijin Thomason Zekirese.
And doing Tarunko Masonko da Khenpo.
The Choso Tikapsetini Namkala Tani Marione, Choso Lamareva, Choso Lamala Lamangi, Namkala Zabzachini Tainda, Jijin Thomason, the Zekirese, Marione, Tendizegres.
And then what you'll say when you come down to the mountain, and to your Lama, I was sitting, staring at the sky very intently, and I didn't see anything.
Teni chozo lama kale ko dacha kres.
And then your Lama will slowly communicate with you.
Ya tan chatem jig zok song tu ji ches.
So this is the end of the teaching. Thank you very much.
Tanjo zumba tone ni be dana ba je yega no zumba zebe zole do wa do jo no ma no ne ba wa no jo I'm